Okay. Greetings,
Can
everyone.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So let's begin with our introductions. My name
All
is
right now.
Fuka. My name is Fuka Kobue. I will be today. We'll be going through a very interesting conversation today. What you call this masculinity, looking at it from two points of view: the modern point of view and the traditional point of view. What you call
Okay.
this. Okay, you go on, brother. Go on and introduce yourself.
So what's up with it, y'all? Listen, my name is Rex Kain, REXKAIN. You can put the angel in the middle. It's my middle name. So listen, I'm an astrologer. I'm also a numerologist, and I'm also practically one of the best psychics and metaphysical people you will ever meet in your life. And today we got my homeboy here. Listen, we finna be talking about masculinity, like he said, from very different standpoints, right? So that's my introduction. So let's go ahead and get into it. So now Fuka, so they were saying that you got the question list.
Okay, yes, what you call this. I do have a question list, what you call this. I would actually, just want to check in with you, what you call this. I would actually like to open the live with the prayer, what you call this.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
not
cool.
a religious prayer, but what you call this. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Alrighty, awesome, 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 awesome. Let me begin. Okay, let's pray. O cosmic connector, O cosmic creator of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruits of our mission. Let each of us, let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglements of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the possibilities of the present moment. For you are the ground, the fruit, the vision of the fruitful vision, and the birth, the power, and the fulfillment. As all is gathered and made whole once more, let it be so. Amen. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. You know what you call this? Opened up with that. You know what you call this? Let's dive into the questions. You know what you call this?
All right.
So I have, you know what you call this? I have very strong views on some of these questions. So you know what you call this? If you don't mind, I will let you go first. I'll ask the question, let you go first, and then I will go after. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. So you know what you call this? Let's begin with defining. You know what you call this? What do you consider? How do you define the word modern?
Modern, well, relative to the actual time period that you are in. So, but you know what? Let me break it down to a more broader standpoint. So, modern basically has kind of like a more present, futuristic tone to it. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of escaping old traditional ways. So that's what I would describe it as.
Hey, awesome, 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 awesome. You know what you call this? Uh, 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 my point of view. So you know what you call this? Uh,
Mm.
I would say describing modern. You know what you call this? For me, spirituality. You know what you call this? I almost liken to glasses. You know what you call this? Maybe I could even say contact lenses, right?
Yeah.
And spirituality affects. what you call this, how you see the world, what you call this. So today, what you call this, in the world, what you call this, many of us have a Eurocentric point of view, what you call this. We see ourselves, we see the world through the eyes of a European, what you call this.
Yeah.
And that Eurocentric point of view, what you call this, is what I call modern, what you call this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, what you call this. That's that. What you call the second question we have. How do you define traditional?
Traditional. Okay. So how do I find traditional? You got to remember. So put it like this. So when we talking about the actual word traditional, what it is basically like I'm talking about like a systematic process of like values that people keep instilled, and I'm talking about perpetuate time and time and again. So basically, like it's so in very layman's terms, it's like I'm talking about people that believe in doing the same thing that they value over and over again, especially if they feel like it brings results that they like like giving people your last name when you get married, or like passing down like the family car or the heirloom or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? It's basically things that a blast from the past that has a certain
Okay,
structure in people's minds. So yeah,
awesome, 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 awesome. I like that. I like that. I like that.
mm,
Okay, my definition. What you call this. It goes sort of similar to what I spoke about. What you call this. How spirituality affects the way we see the world. What you call this.
yeah,
And my, what you call this. I spoke about the Eurocentric point of view. What you call it, seeing yourself and seeing the world from a European standpoint. What you call it. There's another way. What you call this, to see the world. What you call this. There may be others on top of these, but I'll say there's too many. Uh, you can see your world from an Afrocentric point of view. What you call this. Afrocentric meaning you see yourself and you see the world from the point of view of an African or a black person. What you
yeah,
call this.
yeah.
And that is what I define as being traditional.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Awesome, 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 awesome. What you call this? Next question. Hey, what you call this big one.
Yeah.
What does masculinity mean to you, Mr. Rex?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question so I can come in full throttle. So, what true masculinity actually is? So check this out. True masculinity, what it really is. Let's look at it. What's up with it, Crandall?
Peace,
Hey,
peace, peace.
Crandell.
What's up,
What's up
brothers?
with
I
it, man?
tapped in at the right time,
Hey,
boy.
Yeah, you
glad
came at the right
to
Hey,
have you,
time.
Rex, I
bro.
Yep.
came in at the right time, Rex.
Yeah.
You was
Hey,
ready to
now for
go in.
real. Hey, so he was just asking me. I'm talking about my view on masculinity, and I got to keep it. So I'm gonna keep it. So I gotta be honest. I'm gonna keep it all the way wrong.
Right.
Real masculinity, whether you want to see it as good or positive, is unapologetically getting results, and that's the
Ashe.
primary truth. So you got to remember, you can add dominance into that, whether you want to see it as good or bad, because the reason why a lot of matriarchal societies were destroyed, even though you got to remember. So look at it from a very like primal standpoint. The reason why a lot of the female societies were wiped out is because the men just didn't care and just said, "Let's just take over." So whether it's a good or a bad thing, because good and bad things came from that. So we look at how masculinity has always been throughout history. It's been people conquering things, taking things without, what I'm talking about, letting people know. It's just doing. It's honestly, essentially, in a good or bad thing, doing whatever you want. If you know what I'm talking about. But see, the thing about it is, we know men and women can both exhibit masculine traits. But think about it. Whenever
Ashe.
whenever you say a woman's being masculine, what it sounds like she's trying to like dominate the conversation or be
But that's
very,
not the
very
case at
aggressive
all
with you.
times, right?
Yeah, yeah, you see what I'm saying? So think about what when we say the word masculinity, when we're talking to a female, what traits are they showing us? Then that's a reflection of ourselves. Dominance,
Mm,
trying to run stuff,
Ashe.
telling you this. So in essence, what we actually see, regardless of beliefs, masculinity at its height, whether it's bad or good, it's about getting results. It's unapologetic as well. And that's my strong viewpoint on it.
Ashe,
Wonderful.
Ashe. And
Wonderful.
just to bounce off of that, I would say that you brought up a great point because, at the end of the day, being masculine out here and dealing with everything that we have to deal with on societal standards, whether it comes to relationships, whether it's fathering our kids in the right way, whether it's dealing with life circumstances, right? We got so much shit to work through, bro. Like we gotta go through so many brick walls to get to that point where we can say that we are not we not how can I put it?
Yeah,
Over hyper masculine. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Because so many masculine think that they're masculine because they have been overhyped or they have this sense of narcissism about themselves where they control everything around them to say I'm a masculine because I control everything around me when that's not the case. Sometimes, like you said, Rex, you got to tap into that feminine. You have to understand and overstand your emotions, have emotional intelligence,
yeah,
overstand that you are the leader. You lead the way. So in those times of even when you're overly emotional, you gotta pull yourself back and say, you know what, I'm the leader of this shit. I can't run away from this. I'm the
that's true.
man when it comes to this. You know what I
That's true.
mean? And even when it comes to our goddesses, right, fellas, right? Sometimes you want to say, you know what, I'm walking away from this. I don't want to deal with this, right? But we know we have a true goddess that's with us, right? So that emotional intelligence is going to tell us, man, you know what? Forget what she's saying because she's only thinking out of trauma due to her emotions. So now I got to be the masculine lead and show her and lead her out of those traumas. So that a divine masculine is here with you.
Yeah,
You feel
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I
So
feel what you're saying. Yeah,
So my definition of a masculine is just everything that you just said. Taking that leadership, having integrity, having character, even when the world don't believe you. The world don't believe your ideologies. Nobody is standing in your corner. You got to stand with your back to that corner. And you know what? Say, you know what? If I'm in this corner by myself, I'm still going to fight until the people understand that
yeah.
I am.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
And you got to
And,
be
and like you
passionate
said,
about it.
yeah, that's unapologetically. That's why I
And
said
you want to know what?
unapologetically.
You want to know what, Kings? The way that the universe has been trying to throw me off from trying to speak from my phone bill. Well, not even my phone bill. The shit that was going on with AT&T with the knockout.
I heard something about that too.
Man, AT&T had a rolling knockout, bro. Everybody shit went out. So now I'm thinking, right? I'm like, we supposed to have this masculine conversation tonight, and they knocking out the towers, right?
They
I'm
playing
supposed
it
to have
on
this
the yeah,
masculine conversation tonight, and now, you know, people that I ain't heard from all of a sudden hit me up about some shit, right? When I'm like, you bringing back traumas within me that I stayed away from your I want to bleep, bleep, bleep. I wish you had a bleep button,
yes. Oh God, yeah. Listen, folk love to play. I know what you're talking about.
right? Hey,
Yeah,
they late because now that I think it, E22. And I've been seeing this number all week. So the universe is trying to tell me, like, as a masculine, we about to test you, boy. We about to see if you really tapped into your divine masculine like you say you is. And are
yeah,
you gonna push through all the bullshit that's in front of you right now to tap into your purpose, to speak for your
yep,
people, to show
yep,
them the right way, and show them what a true divine masculine looks like. Show them what it's
yep.
supposed to
Either you
feel
gonna
like.
hold frame or push through. Yep,
Right. Are you going to show them or are you going to be a sucker? Are you going to let everything around you want to let everything around you hinder you from the words that you need to speak because that's what the enemy throwing at you all day long, Rex. I've been getting it. You heard me.
yeah,
And I'm sitting here wondering to my mind, I'm sitting here wondering why is all this going down in one day? Like what is this about a day? And then I look down and say, oh, it's 222. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want me. Y'all don't want us to have this conversation,
Nah, they don't want to have it for real. Yeah, they don't want to have
especially
that.
not over the internet.
Yeah, where everybody can see and view it because I get very for real and unapologetic because see, like you saying, the whole thing is really, if we want to look at it, ego can be a part of it, but the whole thing, like the height of a more positive moral masculinity, you got to remember, listen, it's about, you know what I'm talking about, like in order for a king to run society, somewhere, somehow, things have to be peaceful. You know what I'm talking about?
I should.
So that masculine authority, that masculine mind frame, that's what set the actual standard. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. Kings of all kinds, one man's mindset is able to control an army, a council, and I'm talking about dictate I'm talking about the fate of millions at once. That is literally the height of masculinity because that's what we see. That happened then, and now what's happening now? Now they're slowly, you know what I'm talking about, like incorporating, like you. I'm pretty sure you've seen the UN meetings, right? United Nations, without everybody around. Now
Yeah.
all the kings of the kingdoms, they're mostly males, right?
Right.
That are in higher authority. And look, they're trying to handle serious issues about the lives of their people and their country. So
Right.
real masculinity put everybody on his back and able to carry you through. Now that is also a part of, like you were just saying, either you gonna hold frame or you gonna bulldoze through it. It's just
I
simple as that.
say. And to build on top of that, right? 2024, when it comes to the masculinity, is who are the real masculine that's willing to be able to deal with the truth?
Woo! Hey, it
Mm.
don't seem
Because
like
think
too
about
many
the
people
Cat
is.
Williams and Shay Shay interview, right? How many masculines can really deal with the truth and say, you know what? I took that man material, or oh, I did this, or because that's what it's really about at the end of the day, right? If I got parts of my ego that I know as a masculine that I haven't dealt with truly, then guess what? I'm gonna say that on the front stage. It's parts of my masculine that I need to deal with. But you know what? That ego plays a great part when it comes to me not being humble because I used to have a lack of self-confidence about myself, Rex. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that ego, we all say the ego, the ego, the ego, but the ego is always here to serve you as well if you learn how to balance it.
that's true. That's true. Ego, listen, the ego, see, a lot of people think I'm egotistical, but see, check this out. Anybody who talks to me in a one-on-one always leaves with some type of clarification about their life, right? Because see, the thing about it is, my ego is strong to the point where it actually goes against deception and manipulation. So we live in a world where everybody's always trying to, you know what I'm talking about, overcrowd your mind with their own thoughts and opinions to really kind of, you know what I'm talking about, subplant
Right.
some information to have you working for them in the long run, giving them all the stuff that they need you to be doing. But my ego is so done. I'm like, because I'm not trying to spot stuff you like, oh, you wrong, you wrong. I'm like, listen, the stuff you saying would actually truly be detrimental to me and my mind frame. And if anybody else hear this, if they like you a little bit, and that's why a lot of spiritual leaders, like a lot of people do lead people wrong because they give them a lot of wrong information. But see,
Right.
my ego is so strong to where it's like blocking out that dark manipulation tactics that it seems
I
like
love that, King.
everybody on.
I love that, King, because I'm the same way, right? Because, we tap into our ego and be like, and we ask ourselves, okay, am I wrong or is this really bullshit on your end that I feel like you're trying to manipulate the situation that is putting me in my energy where I feel like I got to respond to your manipulation with certain tactics, right? So,
Exactly.
so that's when we become in our hyper masculinity, right? When we feel like, why you trying to play with me, yo? Because I know I got my ego. But don't try to call me out on my ego because you're trying to manipulate me. No, call me out on my
Man,
ego because I just finagled through your bullshit.
yeah,
So call that.
and they don't like that. They don't like that. They want you to believe they lie and just don't say nothing. So they really want you to be comfortable with false realities. I cannot do that.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
can't do
say.
that because, like you were just saying, you got to remember, it's like because I get like that too. It's like you can see because listen, you know when you're being manipulated when it make your mind feel weird hearing it. It's
Man,
like okay, that don't even the way it not only do it sound weird, it also make you feel like a little bit like cringy. Like what are you trying to do? So you got to
man.
remember. So the thing
And
about it is, what the actual suspect does is try to poison us like we're victims, right? With thoughts and words, and because you got to remember, like once you wane the mind, listen, I was in the army for 3 years. Once you wane the mind down, especially whether man or woman trying to psychologically manipulate you, they wane the mind down. Then guess what? They come in and guess what? They sink their fangs into you, and now they inject you with who they want you to be.
And I peeped that, right, King, because I love what you just said, because you know, even in situations where I feel like I know I'm not wrong, I think my ego kind of overtakes that. It's the way as though, like you said, you was in the army, you kind of got to balance yourself. It's the way as though I get so hyper that it makes it seem like I'm trying to justify myself when I'm just trying to give you the truth.
They gonna weaponize it every time.
You see what I'm saying? Because at most times, King, I'm nonchalant, right?
Yeah.
So when I get unnonchalant, I get real bad. But that's not me trying to justify myself or convince you or prove anything to you. That's me trying to get you to see, like, you have known me long enough. This not my ego. So why?
Exactly. Yeah.
You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely resonated with what you just said, and that's something that I think I need to work on. Like I'm a Virgo, so Virgos, you know us, bro. We nonchalant. We really don't, you know what I mean? We don't put on no show. We really try not to overextend ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
I feel you. No,
But
I feel
I
you on
think
that.
in certain situations when it comes to people that I love, then maybe I need to come on and bring it on down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that. No,
And
I
try to
feel
get
you on
out of
that
my,
one.
because at some sense it is my ego trying to convince you that, you know what I mean?
I feel you. But see, the thing about it is, you got to remember. So put it like this: you seem like you somebody who's probably very aware of like. See, the thing about it is, your mind frame is actually. I always tell people this: you have to develop a mind frame that actually gives you a chance of survival in the real world. Because the thing about it is, people would call that toxic, but the thing about it is, those same people that will call you toxic for thinking like that or feeling like that would be the same people that you need to use it against. Because guess what? They are going to try to tear you down. Because one thing I noticed about real masculinity, the unapologeticness, it really gets under people's skin. But the actual right, but see, and I'm not talking about unapologetic masculinity as far as like I can do whatever and nobody better not say nothing. But if you moral and you already like it's like, listen, I'm trying to be good out here. I'm not playing. Y'all coming to me with all the BS. So listen, however you get this reflected back, because you know we all be reflections of each other. We really, you know what I'm talking about, the universe experiencing itself, right? See what I'm saying? So it's like they send you some energy, you give it to them back, and they head it feel like times 10. Well,
listen,
well, let it be. That's how I be, just because to me, I'm very unapologetic because you got to remember when it comes to true masculinity, you got to remember now. I'm talking about not good femininity. I'm talking about negative, over sexualized femininity are the main ones who try to target masculinity, right?
Right.
So you got to remember they're like them dark feminine normally. So you got to remember, y'all, listen, whether you hold a masculine frame or whatever, those type of women have like a hive mind and they come directly towards the masculinity to tear it down. And then once they seem that they can't tear you down, guess what? Either they submit to you or they try to, you know what I'm talking about, mess your name up. But if they do see you submit, well, they end up turning you into somebody that you never thought you would be. You know?
Hey, Fuka.
Hey.
Can I lead that into a question that I wanted to
ask? You know what you call this? Hold that for a second. You know what you call this? I think let us take some time. You know what you call this to take a break. You know what you call this to share our sponsors.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, she so said that. Yeah.
Okay. You know what you call this? I'll see you soon, gents.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Gia, and I have two amazing book releases for you. The first is a dream journal, which I know you guys will enjoy as it'll help you Keep track of your dreams, understand your dreams, and break down those fears and subconscious images that come to you in your dreams. So get your copy today, and I know that you'll love it. The second book is a chakra guide and journal. This guide is the truth. It breaks down every single chakra. It lets you know how to unblock them, and you have space in your journal to write down all of your processes of how you're unblocking your chakra, and you can go back and check them out. Please get your copies today, available only on Amazon.
How you doing, my beautiful brothers and sisters? If you're looking for an all-natural brand, the Ancestor Hands is that brand for you. I invented this brand to give people like me a great product at a lesser price and made sure I kept all the harmful chemicals out of my products. Ancestor Hands is more than a brand, it's a movement. So leave those chemical brands alone and come home to Ancestor Hands.
Ancestors Hands specializes in natural skin care products. Make sure you guys go visit www.ancestorshands.net. I promise you guys you will not be disappointed. I can say that firsthand as I have tried his products and they are superb. So tap in.
Yo, what's good, family? This your boy C, and here at Eyes Open Clothing, our mission is to leave every single customer with a smile. We aren't just your regular fashion company. We thrive on targeting our soul tribe, attracting positivity, abundance, good health, and new connections, and looking.
Y'all see the drip? Okay, you know how I had to call myself one. To my listeners, you guys can go visit www.eyeopenclothing.com to purchase your fit today. And last but not least, make sure you guys visit www.cosmicconnections.com if you guys are interested in having your business featured on one of our episodes. Check out our website to view our sponsorship packages.
Okay, you know what you call this? We're back, and
We back.
All right,
get in
now.
and back into the conversation. Very interesting conversation. You know what you call this? Wonderful input from the gents over here. You know, I will start by actually doing some house cleaning. You know what you call this? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You know, click that notification bell so that you are informed every time a video is uploaded. Like the video, you know, comment on the video, what you think, you know, add to the conversation. Have any questions, you know, what you call us, ask the questions, and we will get back to you. Okay, you know what you call us, back to the conversation. Brother Crandell, you know what you call us, you had a question?
Absolutely. And I was just talking to Brother Rex, right? Because we was just talking about, you know what I mean, as far as it comes to in relationships, because I want to know this from both of y'all brothers. One thing that I was speaking about on my status, you know what I mean, I was just posting the other day that I feel like you brothers can resonate with is that just because you're not rich, just because you're not famous, just because you're not in the limelight doesn't mean that, you know, the Matrix doesn't give you a handler. Doesn't mean that they don't put certain women in your path to either knock you off or either help you grow. That's what the universe does. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to speak on that from a masculine aspect, because I feel like a lot of brothers are so dumbed down right now, bro, because all they see on the internet is ass, titty. Like, excuse my language.
Nah, you good. Hey,
I'm
real
sorry,
talk.
Kakiso. I'm sorry, Rex. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to, you
Nah,
know
you
what I
good.
mean? But all they see, you know what I mean? All they see is twerking and this and that. And they think that this is what the divine feminine is supposed to be. But society is just giving you a standard to dumb you down. You don't understand that certain women that's coming into your path are handlers, right? If someone put you there, is someone that is put there to kind of decrease your frequency. So I want to speak on that as a masculine aspect, to say to the masculine brothers, how can we recognize some signs as to where, as though you know that this quote unquote goddess or divine feminine is truly divine or not divine when it comes to that masculinity? You feel what I'm
Well,
saying, right?
well, listen, you listen. You on live with the right person. Yeah, you want to. So listen. So let's just go straight to the out in the open. So you got to remember, women with open promiscuity, who just so comfortable to tell you about the actual sexual desire. Like you, as a man, listen. They know we don't like that. We know we don't like that. But what those type of women try to do is subjugate our mind by see men get triggered by insecure and control and not, listen, let me tell you something. Whatever they call me, I guess. See, because I'm unapologetic. See, the thing about it is, you got to remember, man. Look at how many empires have fallen because men were so lustful and they didn't recognize the signs. Like, do we need? We get. I'm talking about even celebrities now that people worship and look up to. Kingdoms has fallen, and I'm not talking about to the high divine feminine who's been there, been a mother to her man, also helped him make decisions. I'm talking about that Jezebel spirit because that's more prominent than ever. So one of the first and foremost things, a female with open promiscuity, man, think about it, man. They know we don't like that. But the thing about it is, you got to remember, the control, let me tell you something. Listen, no morality, let's look at human nature.
Right.
If you can subjugate somebody, which basically means like take control of them without having to do nothing extra with just your physical, you know what I'm saying, my body, whatever. Why you think so many men is down bad? So that's one of the first and foremost things, open promiscuity. The second thing, right? I got to keep this 100% honest. Recognizing her behavior patterns because a lot of, and I'm not talking about the divine feminine who actually like, yeah, y'all good. I'm talking about the ones who chaotic and that y'all know. So all that hive mind, group, collective stuff. No, women don't. I don't want to hear none of that. That's what I be needing them to know because the thing about it is, they knock a man off their square whenever he's saying something real. Here come the hive mind, and then the man
Thank
like,
you,
oh,
brother. Thank you,
yeah,
brother. You just said, oh my God, you just said some words that I need to hear tonight.
yeah, because you got to remember, think about it. See, men and women, we are both fighting for authority and control to some extent, right? But the
Right.
thing about it is, you got to remember, let's be 100% honest. After feminism came, okay, they got all their stuff. And then guess what? The divine feminine was cool. Okay, me and my man, we got some money, we can do this. But guess what? The actual promiscuous, which are, you know what I'm talking about, high in numbers, they said, okay, let's just fight for just sex now.
Right.
Nowadays, feminism is all about sexuality. That's all you see. That's what you were saying earlier. All you see is booty everywhere. And men are so easy. Think about it, bro. I'm talking about you see one booty picture, bro.
For
I'm
real,
talking
bro.
about these men is all in the comments.
About
They in the
20,000
inbox.
likes in the comments and all that. Yeah.
So think about if that happened to me and you. Let's look at it from a human standpoint. That's gonna by nature give. You got a woman that want to take you over here. She want to give you this of all kinds at all times, blowing your stuff up. You know how hard it's gonna be for you to be in a relationship with just one.
Talk your talk, gang.
So
You just
so
made me almost throw my steering wheel through the
yeah.
windshield, bro.
So you got to think about it. And remember, I'm not talking about. We're not looking at it from a moral perspective. We're looking at it from a humanistic standpoint. If there's no consequences to anything, and you could, why you think most? And I'm talking about divine feminine. I don't want y'all to be saying that because y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to remember the thing about it is, let's look at let's be 100% honest. Why would they give that up when they don't even have to change their personality? Because these men are going to give them whatever they want. It does not matter if she ever finds one. It's a million of them, probably with more money than us, probably with this, that, and third, and will do whatever. So guess
And you
what? In
want
my
to know,
mind, you go
and
ahead.
the sad part about that now, Rex, is that when we truly come across the divine feminine as a divine masculine, whether he's fully in his potential or not, it's so hard for us now to try to break through their traumas and their emotions to show them that I am what I am. It's so
Oh, so I think
Okay,
his phone
seems like
died.
we lost him. What you call us?
I think his phone
Uh,
probably died. He was
he'll
in
be
the middle
back.
of talking. Yeah.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Okay.
Let me see.
can y'all
There you
hear
go,
There we
me?
right
are.
there.
Okay, so I was just saying, like, when it comes to, you know, us as the masculine now, it's so hard for us to reach out to our divine feminine now and show them that we truly masculine and that this is what we here for because they have been so traumatized from, you know, the falls.
Yes.
I get what
And
you mean, of course. I get what you
and
mean, and you know what you call this. Actually, when you say that, what you call this, you know, uh, 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 it's like we're on a team, right? You know what you call this. We're on a team. You know what you call this. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. You know what you call this. Man, woman. You know what you call this. Really, we were created to work together. You know what you call this. To work
I
one
say.
another. To work in a team. You know what you call this. And you know what you call this. The big thing. You know what you call this. A big test, what you call this today, what you call this is because what you call this is being, what you call this is as a man is playing your part, what you call this, because there are so many things we're facing, what you call this, we're facing
yeah,
attacks from, what you call this, like you said, what you call this, the there's a system against us, what you call this. And depending on where you are, what you call this, what you call this. As a black man, it becomes even more difficult. But you know what you call this. This thing it's about think about it. When you're on a team, you know what you call this, you don't worry about what your the other person in the other position is playing, what you call this, is doing, right? You focus on your position, you know what you call this. You focus on your position. You do what you have to do for the team to win. You know what you call this. You're not here, or what you call this. Really, really, really. You know what you call this. You're not here to be watching over what someone else in their position is playing their position. Yes, you know what you call this. You can speak out. You know what you call this. What you call this. Express, what you call this,
yeah,
your 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 displeasure, what you call this, with how they are playing their position, But first
Right.
thing you have to do is play your position, what you call this,
I say.
part of being masculine, what you call this, is being a leader, what you call this, and what you call this, a lot of the women, like the woman that, what you call this, Rex has spoken about, what you call this, the high, the
the
super
hive
promiscuous
mind.
woman, what you call this, the super promiscuous woman, the
Right.
woman who subscribes to feminism, what you call this, they are, what you call this,
They are lost.
they are they are lost, exactly, what you call this. And it's your responsibility as a masculine, what you call this, to lead them back in the right direction, not for you to be led out of your position
Right.
by them,
I say.
you
Well,
know.
well, you know something. I gotta disagree with that to an extent, and the
Why?
reason I
Cause you
say
gotta
Mhm.
that
know when to
because
hold them, know when to fold them, Rex.
because you got to remember, think about it. Like, and this is not just with me, not just women. This is men and women. I hope everybody is listening. The thing about it, y'all have to understand. Listen, you can do your best to guide, but if you are dealing with unruly, uncooperative people, listen. This we all have separate lives, y'all. This is the only time you might ever be alive. All the incarnation, or the reincarnation. Listen, the best thing to do is to get with people who are responsive, that already have, that think, I would say at least 70% of you already. We are gonna have differences, but you gotta remember opposites attract, but they don't last. Let's keep it
Right.
all the way 100. So
That's true.
I don't want to see you going to the grave, or our daughters or our women. You gotta remember, trying to keep up with somebody, life already hard enough on your own. So men or
Right.
women, for everybody, do not run yourself into the ground because
Mm.
people don't want to listen. I feel
Mm.
like that.
Boy. Boy.
Mhm.
Boy.
Mhm.
That's
Say
hey,
that
for
shit again,
real.
Rex. For the
I
ones in the
love it.
back.
I love
Yeah.
that, what you call
Say
this,
that again. Can you say that one more time, Rex?
Well, listen, I'll let them know one more time, because check this out. Listen, the thing about it is, you got to remember, let's keep it for real. How many people, and listen, this is non-gender, this is everybody. How many people y'all know, or even us going through it right now, dealing with people because they just the listening factor is there, the comprehension factor is there as well. They hear, they listen, they understand, but the actual following through and carrying the plan out, that's what it's missing. That's why you can have the same conversation and
or
they'll be
even
like, yeah, that makes sense, and never do it.
and one thing that I have grown to understand and understand, right? Um, being as though, right, you understand Vedic astrology, I'm a Virgo, right? So through my pureness and through my values, I reflect, you know what I mean? A lot of my
Hold on, when is your birthday though? Because in Vedic you might be a Leo. Were you born before
I'm
September
probably a
15th?
Libra. I'm on the 22nd of September. I'm right there.
I know you a real Virgo in Vedic too. Are you a real Virgo? Yeah, you a real
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So what I try to get people to understand is that, yeah, people listening, but they selectively hearing the words they want to hear,
Man,
right?
man.
So so like you said before, brother, that's why I just asked you to repeat that, because you can say all you want to say. That don't mean you're gonna get people to listen. They hear you, but they truly listen,
Yeah, that's true. And then
right?
you got
And that's a big problem within the masculine community, because within our households, nobody listens.
yeah, yeah. And you want to know something?
Right?
Listen,
Right? Am I right?
no, no, you're right. Listen. But this thing about it, soon as they don't listen, we got to remember. Listen, now this is where the actual selfishness part of us should come. You got to remember, guns dealing with people that aren't listening, and it's dragging you down emotionally. So you're going to be drained all the way until death, right? And this can
Mm,
carry on for a long period of time. Our uncles, our grandmas, and I'm talking about people that we know. Think about how they view not just relationships, but friendships or anything. People can
right.
drain your actual energy, right? So the thing about it, if you're dealing with unruly people, they have to go. You have a purpose and
Yeah.
you have a mission, whether you're a man or a woman. But we're talking about masculinity specifically. So you got to remember, if you're dealing with an unruly woman, she got to go. Because think about it, it's not
Mhm.
just about dominance. It's about, baby, listen, I just want some peace. I'm not on all that shit. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So the whole thing about it is like, if they don't want to listen, they have to go. That's just that on that. Now, it is hard. It's not as easy as I'm saying it, but it's so rewarding when you finally get over that mental block that person had you behind. You know what I'm saying? And that's
I
the
fully
truth.
understand what you're saying. I fully understand what you're saying. What you call this, and that's a key part of leadership. What you call this. You need to be able to assess the situation. What you call this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Assess the situation. What you
Right.
call this. These. As much as we like to, we can sit together, we can give advice. What you call this. Every situation is unique and particular. What you call this, in its own. What you call this, and it requires you, who is in the situation, what you call this, what you call this, to make that assessment, what you call this, see what's working, what's not working, what
Yeah.
you call this, and in the end, do what's best for everyone that you, what you call this,
Yeah. That's right.
are responsible for, what you call this, in that situation. You're responsible for yourself, what you call this, and what you call this. If that is your woman, what you call this, you are responsible for her as well, what you call this, and it's up to you, what you call this, to make the hard decisions. Making
Yeah.
the hard
Yeah.
decisions, that's on us. What you call this, that's masculinity. What you call
I
this.
say.
Yeah. Because
And
sometimes it
there's
don't
no
feel
running
good.
away from it. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
say.
yeah,
That's facts, Fuka. That's facts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love the way you
Like you said.
articulated that, because
Mhm.
dealing with the hard decisions between yourself or us. It's like, is it me or is it us as a masculine, right?
You know,
Because I don't know
mhm.
about a lot of other masculines out there, but I know, and most times a lot of masculines that's just growing into their situation and into their spirituality often find themselves in situations where they're always having a fight. You know what I mean? You end up in situations where you think that you got this, but it really ain't that. Now
Yeah.
you gotta fight your way back. You understand what I'm saying, Rex?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And
And no,
we
you go ahead.
and we as divine masculines, when we're rising into our ascension, we often end up in situations where um we think that we have something, and it could be that or it could not be. But our leadership often determines how that lesson is going to be played out, if that makes sense.
And to expand on that, so put it like this: I know exactly what you're saying, and also to add to that, if you really want to, people need to make you need to feel like your people bring you inner peace, the ones who are around you. Like you
Right,
got to remember, man. Like, aren't we all tired of our intuition going off 24/7, and for people to say they're not on something that we find out they actually are? So
right.
you got to remember, we need to be around men and women friends or partnerships or whatever. We need to be around people that make us feel like, damn, I really ain't got to worry about nothing. Like that's so and so,
And can I
so and so.
raise my hand in the classroom?
Nah, yeah, yeah, nah,
Because
you
it's
good,
something that
yeah.
I wanted to talk about as well, right? Intuition. That's a dangerous game when it comes to the spirituality.
So is.
Because when people see intuition nowadays, bro, they think about intuition in a bad sense, in a negative sense. I had my
Yeah,
intuition about this because my intuition said that you was gonna do this, this, and that. But I ain't even did shit. So now you
it's never
protected.
no good stuff. It's literally never no good
You see
stuff.
what I'm saying, bro? So when are we as divine masculine and feminine are gonna start using our intuition towards positivity? Because now when I see people using their intuition, they don't say, I feel like this is gonna happen. This is gonna be a big change for you, and boom, boom, boom. No, it's always negative, especially in relationships, bro. Oh, my intuition told me you was gonna do this. I ain't even fucking did the shit. So how your intuition telling you no? Your trauma told you that I was gonna do that.
That's very possible too. And a lot of times, and like I'm glad you brought it up because it's like the only time we using our powers is for like to fix to
Negative shit.
yeah to discern bad stuff. Nobody want to keep doing
Yeah,
that. It's like we want to discern
every
stuff like okay,
time, bro.
yeah,
And that and that's the bad part about it because it's like you could be doing everything in your power, bro, right? But at the same time, somebody can be so traumatized within themselves that they only see their intuition for negativity.
yeah,
They
they
don't
don't.
see their intuition like, Spirit, give me insight on this person doing, oh yeah, that person doing you right, and boo boo. But they don't choose to listen to that voice. They listen to
And
the voice that's telling them, oh, they doing wrong. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying, bro?
where you want to know something too? Hey, so let's go a little bit deeper with that because you exactly right. So let's see. I like to go right to the root, and this isn't all the way the 100% root because everybody's their own person. But the thing about it is, the energy field that we are being in is filled with nothing but hurt, trauma, and pain as well. So our psychological mind, what it does is it creates a format stored inside our head where it's like alarm bell goes off. Because think about it, we see this shit every day, all day. So it's literally it literally makes sense to not trust or believe people off rip because think about it. It's no longer you lose money. It's no longer you just lose. You will lose your life.
Right.
You will lose the most precious thing that you do have that you can never get back. So you got to remember. So like you said, we using it for bad, but it's like damn. And I agree with you, but it's like damn, people really be doing bad every day. They do bad so I think, and then listen, the celebrities, the movies, the songs, it's like it's all disrespectful and hedonistic. So it's like think about it. Think about it. The average, I gotta be 100 honest. The average black woman that I meet that ain't like on some real soft feminist, first thing she say is, "Y'all men, y'all ain't even good for this. This is so and so and
Facts.
so." Or dudes, first I meet a dude, he'll be like, man, that ain't nothing but a this, that ain't nothing but a that. Listen,
Facts.
I've been in the army. I live in Dallas. I'm from Memphis. I lived in Virginia. I've lived in Oklahoma. I've lived in Mississippi. It ain't from my whole life. It ain't been nothing different no matter where I went. So I'm like, so not only is it saturated, the pollution behind it's like years of backed up karma. It's like karmic backlog affecting everybody, right?
Ashe. And that's why I spoke on that, because it has a big part in the masculine community, because we grow up off of these bitches ain't shit. These bitches that do, right? And females grow up off of as far as the feminine energy, because we all carry feminine and masculine energy within us. So we can't not forget the balance, right? So the feminine said, oh, this nigga ain't this. He lying. My intuition tell me this. My intuition tell me that. Your intuition ain't telling you nothing. Like that's probably a whole nother entity telling you something to try to separate us. But you so,
Or
but
how they
bruh,
want to feel too. You right.
you understand what I'm saying? So as far as we go, as far as the community within the masculine, mostly because like Fuka said, leadership, right? We have to lead our divine feminines to know that they can trust us, but at the same time, being a balance within that masculine energy, the divine feminine has to say, well, I'm gonna take this chance to trust him and not let what I think my trauma is that I'm calling my intuition overlead me. You feel what I'm saying?
You know, and you know what you call this, like, one thing I have learned, what you call this, one thing I have learned, what you call this, about women in general, is that the way they communicate is very different, what you call this, um, when they communicate, they are communicating how they feel, you know, they are
Right,
communicating how they feel, what you call this, all the time, what you call this, it took me a while to get this, what you call it, but they're communicating how they feel all the time, what you call this. And think about it, right? You know what you call this? If me and you, Crandell, what you call this, are speaking, right? Me, I would tell you, you would know I'm speaking about my feelings when I tell you right now, I feel angry, I
right,
feel angry, what you call this, and then I go into it, right? You know what you call
right,
this. Them is different, what you call this. They don't say I feel angry, what you call this. They don't
right,
say I feel when they're speaking about their feelings, what you call this. They're always speaking about their feelings, always, what you call this. So I would say this lesson has been useful for me, because when someone tells me how they feel, what you call this, I have nothing to add to that. You know what you call this? It's just a case for them. You know what you call this, to express. You know what you call this, and for me to listen. And what you call this. I think you know what you call this. For me to listen, and also what you call this, for it to not to be a personal thing. You know what you call this. They're just expressing how they feel. How they feel is
yeah,
how they feel. You know what you call this. I shouldn't internalize it. It's not about me. You know what you call this. It's about them. I must just listen. Let them see and hear that someone is listening, that they have an ear. You know what you call this, and you know what you call this. You know what you call this. I'll be shaking my head. You know what you call this, to show that yes, I understand. You know what you call this. I feel you, where you're coming from. You know what you call this, and you know that's that. You know what you call this. And
right,
I love what you call this, brother Crandell was saying. You know what you call this, that yeah, what brother Kain was saying. That there is there is you know what you call this negativity, what you call this, in the environment, what you call this. Things
right,
are not right, what you call this. There's a war between, what you call this, the males and the females, what you call
right,
this. And you know what you call this. We know that it's not natural, what you call it. It's something that's being done externally, being imposed inside, you know what you call this. And we as the masculines, you know what you call this, we see this, you know what you call this, and it's no one else's responsibility to lead us out of it. We have to, you know, we have to lead ourselves out of it, you know what you call it. And a lot of what we are even hearing, you know what you call this, you know, from what you call this, the women in our lives, the women around us, you know what you call this, they feel this external interference that is happening as well, you know what you call it. They feel this negative environment, you know what you call
Right.
this. And you know what you call this, the way they are set up, you know what you call this, is for them to just express it, you know what you call this. They are taught from a young age, you know, express your feelings, you know what you call this, get it off your chest, you know what you call this. So that is what they do, you know what you call this. And I think it's part of, you know what you call this, it's beneficial for us to understand how they behave, you know what you call this, and you know what you call this, accept how they behave, you know what you call this, naturally, you know what you call this, rather than and it would be a mistake for us to, I guess, criticize them, you know what you call this, for them behaving, you know what you call this, in a way that is natural, you know what you call
Right.
this, because we don't quite understand, you know, how they communicate, or because we don't quite communicate that way.
Right. Exactly.
Mhm,
Yep.
mhm,
Yep.
mhm, mhm,
Yep.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
That's a
So
Okay,
whole fact right there, my brother.
okay, awesome. You know what you call this. I have a question. You know what you call this.
mhm.
Can I jump in?
Drop it, man.
Yeah, go
Shoot it.
ahead. Yeah.
Shoot
Awesome,
it,
awesome,
man.
awesome, awesome, awesome. What you call this? So we know spirituality plays a big role in shaping our perception of ourselves and our perception of the world. You know, what spiritual practices do you practice, and how do these spiritual practices affect how you define and view masculinity?
You said how the spiritual presence. Hold up. Can you say it again?
Okay, you know, it's two-part question. You know what you call this? What spiritual practices do you practice? That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then you know what you call this? You know, how do these spiritual practices affect how you see and define masculinity, if at all?
Well, I'm glad you said as well. So everybody know me for being an actual astrologer, right? So I practice,
Mhm,
yeah, yes, astrology, but Vedic astrology. So right now, the thing about it is like a lot of people don't know this, and really, honestly, the way I learned it, like from some Indian people, not everybody is ready for this type of knowledge. But see, the thing about it is astrology rules over everything that we see in life. But you got to remember, it's supposed to be occultic, which is hidden, right? So what I use
mm,
astrology for is to peer into people's lives and see what's going on with them, their relationship with their kids, their health, their career, their brothers, their sisters, their aunties, their life path. You know what I'm talking about? Their psychological mind frame. So what I do is I heal people from within. A lot of us are just out here just winking stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So, and see the
mm,
thing about it, we're winging stuff off of what we think is good for us because what we see
mm,
around us and the benefit that other people are going, the benefit that other folks are gaining from doing stuff, right? But now with
mhm,
astrology, like put it like this, it's three of us on here. We have different birth charts, right? So listen, the moon in astrology rules the actual mind frame, right? So now listen,
mm,
so my moon's in Pisces, Crandell, your moon could be in a different sign, and
Capricorn.
Capricorn, yeah, hey, boy, that's too funny. Yeah, Capricorn and Fuka, yours could be in something different. So that
mm,
already lets you know right there. The moon is the mind. Then we're gonna think and see the world completely different on a lot of things, right? But that doesn't mean that we're not able to come to, you know what I'm talking about, terms and agree on certain things, right? But
mhm,
already, you know what I'm talking about, we're predispositioned to already having a certain type of energy. When we see that, why do you think you see people do so many things? So when people are confused about who they actually are, what I come in and do is tell them who they are, their blessings, all their pitfalls, all their upbringings, like everything in their life I can actually talk about. So when it comes to spiritual practices, I go within and heal people from the source, which is always the mind and the soul as well. So
That's
and I
it.
also do numerology too. So that's mine.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, I definitely got to come get up with you about numerology because it's something that has definitely been like attracting me more and more. Like everywhere I go now, I just look at numbers. Like, what do that number mean? What do that number reduce to? Why am I looking at this number? Why I keep seeing 222 every day? You know what I mean? Why am I a life path 8? Like, why does 4 resonate mostly within my chart? Why is it all even numbers? Like that's all type of things I ask myself, bro. So I'm definitely gonna get up with you, bro, and you know what I mean. Definitely chop it up with you on that numerology aspect.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a life path 11 as well. So yeah. And listen, I got over 165 views from astrology alone. Yeah. So
Right,
like when I say and listen, it ain't no just you're a Pisces. No, it'll get really deep for real.
right.
So
And
yeah,
I'm
but
with
that's what
that.
I do
And I'm
though.
with that because you know,
Yeah,
as far as tapping into, my essence, who I am, and ascending further, I'm just getting more challenges, bro. And there's really not too many masculine beside me that I can say I can go and talk to. You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
That I can go and, discuss certain things with and be able to build on. You know what I mean? Because
That's true.
I'm coming out of a life that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nobody wants to hear that shit, to be honest.
that's true.
Right? The life that I'm coming out of, they not listening to. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I
And it's
respect
hard to
that.
find a lot of masculine men. Because the thing about it is, you got to remember, man. Like you got to remember, a lot of them been watered down by the destruction of like especially over here in the West. I'm gonna say by the actual dark feminine. You got to remember, man. They hive mind. Remember, who are the consumers of products of more products? It's the women. Dates and
Ashe.
all this love stuff and all this. You got to remember. So a lot of men feel like they're gonna be lonely too. So a lot of men
Ashe.
really kind of like scared to lose a woman, and that's where they
Yep.
downfall be at.
Yeah. That's
So
fact.
you got to remember, you got to understand this. So the reason why it's not enough masculine men, because you got to remember, a lot of them are actually drained out by the dark
Mm,
feminine energy. Because you can definitely meet a woman that you love and she got some sense, but the thing about it is, right now, that's damn near far and few in between, and that's just the
right.
reality of the situation.
That's facts. That's facts.
So
And I
yeah,
can say for myself, some of the spiritual practices that I have been engaging with lately, um, has definitely been the spiritual baths because um
yeah,
after working a fucking, excuse my language, after working a 9 to 5 all day with NPCs, you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
NPCs and and you know whether it's either work or home, navigating everything, bro, my mind be in a cluster F. You know what I mean? So the spiritual baths, bro, like just I got a Pisces rising, right, Rex? So now that I recognize that my earth needs to be in tune more with my water to create more of a balance, I've been doing my spiritual baths and it helps me release so much energy, man.
Are you
Helps
a
me.
Pisces rising?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, so you be absorbing the hell out the crowd. Oh yeah, it's time to isolate. Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing I've been doing as far as my spiritual practices. Another thing that I have been getting into more as a masculine is getting into my rituals because
yeah,
you see a lot of divine feminine, they do rituals and they spell work and things of that nature, but we as divine masculine really don't tap into that magic because we move off of logic. You understand what I'm saying? The masculine mostly moves off of logic. We really haven't tapped into that feminine part of ourselves where we can manipulate and use our magic because it'll really be even stronger once we tap into the essence of ourselves. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That's true.
especially with my life path and
Yeah,
certain things lining up in my chart the way it's lined up. It's like you've been destined for this. This been your destiny. You just haven't realized it yet. So
yeah,
as I start to grow into more of these practices of abundance rituals, banishing rituals for all the negative energy that used to be there. Spiritual baths. I begin to awaken myself more and more, and I begin to ascend more. You know what I mean? So those have definitely been some practices that I've been working on, and even reading tarot. Like, even though I know I can't read tarot, bro, Rex, I just go inside of a deck and shuffle and flip it out, and I'm gonna just go read the book. Now I'm gonna see,
Yeah.
because it gives me a sense of this is real energy. You understand what I'm
Spiritual,
saying?
yeah, spiritual relief. Yeah.
Right. This is spiritual energy talking to me now. This is not just me saying, oh, I'm going to pull from a card and do a reading. No, I don't even know nothing about tarot. So now the universe is really going to tell me what I need. And then I can begin to learn more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And gravitate towards more of the energy where I need to be. So, as far as, the spiritual practices that I developed in my masculinity, those have been some, especially self care, but all of those are feminine aspects,
Yeah.
because I grew up on a tough ass masculinity. I grew up around uncles and motherfuckers. They be like, boy, shut your bitch ass up, boy. Slap the shit out you. Shut your bitch
Yeah.
ass up, boy. To all that feminine ass talk. You know
On
what I
some
mean?
crazy shit. Yeah.
And that's what I grew up off of. So I never knew these aspects of myself until I started doing these things and really started to grasp how powerful I really am. You know what I mean? And then I
Exactly.
started practicing these things more, and that really beginning to show like how truly divine I am, and how divine my brothers are. You know what I mean? As we tap
Yeah.
into these insights and rituals and practices together.
Okay.
And you
Awesome.
know something, like you were saying about the masculine. Now a lot of us was raised like with them crazy ass uncles and shit, cussing us out and stuff. Now a lot of times now that can be detrimental too. But the thing about it is, it's like I ain't gonna be honest. Nowadays, a lot of dudes need that with each other now.
Right.
Honestly, because the thing about it is, you got to remember, everybody be talking about they just need a lending ear. Some of these people don't listen. We got to listen. We got to actually give them. See, that's why I said the height of masculinity. We're looking for results. It's like,
Right.
okay, if we want people to change, then you got to remember, just sitting around talking all nice and kind. Let me tell you something. How many people has that worked for? The only time people listen really hard is when you're on their ass, or if they know
That's
some
facts.
consequence coming.
That's facts.
And that's so you got to remember. So like you said, now, if we want to actually get everybody like men back on track, but see the thing about it is now let me break it down from a astrological standpoint. So now, if you believe in astrology, you have to believe in reincarnation because everything in life is karmic, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of men that you see soft, a lot of women that you see masculine, this is the lifetime for them that is supposed to be like that. Everything you see
Right.
around you is what it's supposed to be, right? See what I'm saying?
Right.
But put it like this: women used to be suppressed a whole lot, right? But now that they've been given power by the same people who oppressed them, what have they done with it? A lot of them have gotten drunk with it, right? But see,
Abused it. Right.
now now from a karmic scale, they're only giving us back what was given to them, right? You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But the
I
thing about
should.
it is, we have no recollection of how that actually went. So we're looking at it like you doing this to me, and they are doing it to us because you got to remember, just because it's karmic, it's a lesson. You need to
Yep.
learn when you're messing up and actually fix it. But nobody,
Yep.
the spiritual element is often overlooked because of the psychological prospect. They can just
Right.
think about it. I'm into psychology, but Western psychology, they'll say this: if I'm in a relationship and my woman do something crazy and I get mad at it, I'm like, no, I don't like that shit. They gonna say that's because of my trauma with my mama. That ain't got shit to do with her.
Exactly.
Like, but see, the thing about it is, if you can constantly trick the actual mind frame of the masculine you, even the feminine you, but especially the masculine man, what it does now, you have a weaker society that's overrun by, you know what I'm saying, people who didn't have power at first. And you got to remember, a lot of women are going to look at it now. All you see is booty because they know
Right.
for a fact that's what dudes want.
Yep.
So the thing about it is, you got to understand, once you weaken the male ego by insecurity, this, that, and third, then you tell them, okay, well, you should accept me being promiscuous and doing whatever. I don't really care. You know what I'm talking about? Because that makes you up a man. You know what's crazy? A lot of masculine men, the reason I gotta bring the relationship standpoint, Because dudes be masculine in everything in their life till they get a woman.
Yep.
And then now it's, well, baby, I know you doing stuff that I hate, but I'm secure with myself. So that means you wouldn't do anything. What?
Right.
What?
Doesn't work like that,
You don't
you
become
know.
no yes man. Right.
Yes, but think about it. And listen, now we got to be 100% honest. This is for men and women. We are all grown. These people watch Shade Room, movies, videos, got friends. They've seen how life play out. So
Right.
it doesn't matter. I was raised different. You know what's going to piss a grown man or a grown woman off. You know
Right.
what's going to make a person feel bad. If a person already got problems, and you really there for them, why would you add on to their insecurities? See, the thing about it is, we're out here dealing with a whole bunch of hypersexualized, hedonistic, selfish, you know what I'm talking about, what they call it, degenerate people.
Right.
So the thing about it is, so you got to remember, the men, think about it. You look at the middle, over there in the East, a lot of men still masculine and be running stuff. Now, I'm not saying, it's some countries over there I would not want to live in. We need a balance. But the honest to God truth, if the masculine frame don't become balanced, then guess what? The women frame gonna be just like, well, we can do whatever. That's why you hear women say, I don't want a man, I can just run over. So basically what she's saying is, if she get a man that she can, she's going to. By default, that's
Exactly.
what she's saying, right?
Facts.
Think about the majority of men, of women from all races. So you got to remember. So, and then listen, how many women do you know are running over men constantly? Because all of them saying that.
I know a
So
lot of them.
yeah,
Personally.
so if the women are able to say that collectively, the men doing something that they like, these dudes. You tell a dude back there, a woman about a dude, she be like, boy, they'll do anything, they'll do whatever. So soon as you come across somebody who's super masculine like me or somebody,
They don't like it.
yeah, all they go out the window. So
Yep.
we need more men to stand their ground and say no.
Yeah, and
Mhm,
and and
mhm,
and you
mhm,
know the
mhm.
backlash from that, like what you saying, like standing up as a man and saying no, right? You get so much backlash from that because
It's
they already got so much trauma built up,
you.
right?
You
Actually,
fighting years of stuff, yeah.
actually,
Right.
you know what?
And
You know,
as the matriarchy, right? As the matriarchy, were we not supposed to rule? Be honest,
And
because at the end of the day, as the masculine, right? You can say you could, yeah, I got my own money, I got my own house as a woman, da da da. But if a nigga getting ready to slap the shit out you, who you gonna call? You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not calling no woman.
Exactly, bro.
And,
Exactly. So,
and you want to know
so that,
something?
like you said before, that's how society has got women thinking that ass and titties is the only thing that matters. But our women are being raped. Our kids are coming up missing. And you talking about some, I'm independent, I got my own house. Don't nobody care about that. We try to
But
make sure these
see,
babies good. We try to make sure your ass survive through this next earth. And you sitting here talking about some motherfucking money in a cheesecake factory about what a nigga can do for you. No. You understand what I'm
man,
saying?
because you got to remember what's going on right now is just hatred,
It
individualism,
disgusts me,
and
bro.
hedonism.
It disgusts me, bro.
you know what?
As a
Horace,
divine
you know,
masculine, it really disgusts me because we the ones that's really out here trying to save y'all asses. And y'all so fucking stupid. Like, excuse my language, fellas.
No, you good. Yeah, you good.
But y'all so fucking stupid that you think we just want your ass when we really trying to protect your ooh type
you know,
shit.
Yeah, you got to
you
remember.
know,
And
And half
listen,
of them won't even let us do that, bro.
yeah, and listen, and that's why they stay their ass over there. Because the thing about it is, you got to remember. Look at how many men that we know have. Listen, I've seen some good women. I'm like, damn, she's a really good girl, and you can see it in her actions. But you got to be honest, bro. You ain't really finna. You're not finna really see that too much. Like I was just talking about, like Kain and Jai, and I was telling them, I'm like, the energy y'all exude is extremely different from what we see on the consistent. Think about
Right,
it. How many times do you see women like Kai and Jaya posting crazy? You really never see that
right,
now. But think about, so I always get this percentage because people like to say it's not all of us. Let's look at it from a percentage level. So you got 100,000 people, right? But you got 30,000 doing the right thing, and then you got 70,000 doing a completely wrong, detrimental thing. You are going to run into that 70,000 primarily before you run into that 30,000. And guess what? And since they're all from 70,000, 30,000 equal 100%, you never know what you're going to get, but the majority overrules of negative energy, right?
Right.
Attachment, desire, pleasure, you know what I'm saying? And emotionality gets connected because you got to remember, we are hypersocial creatures. So we
Well, can
have
I
to
bring
interact.
that
We
back?
want to interact.
Because
That's how we get here.
I
But
want
see,
to
the
ask
thing,
both of y'all about this, right? And this
okay,
is leading into my next question, right? What you said about the 70 and the 30%.
yeah,
I feel like it's 60-30, and then you got the 10% of females that say that they're this, but they really moving like that. So how do y'all feel about that? As a divine masculine, how do y'all feel about, divine feminine that, you feel like is on that of a spectrum of shit, but come to find out they really stuck
you,
and lost in their traumas too.
well, you
And
want to know
do
something?
you
you
do
know,
you do you try to pull them out of that? Do you try to help them build and ascend through themselves out of that, or do you just leave them alone with the other percentage of the other females that's over there?
okay, you know what you call this? That's a good question. You know, that's a
Well,
good question. What you call this?
well,
Actually, you know what you call this? A part of masculinity also, you know what you call this, you know, considering the fact that you have to assess the situation, you know what you
Right.
call this, you also have to be able to smell the bullshit, you know what you call this.
I
A lot of bullshit is thrown out, you know what you call this, you know, on the regular, you know, we get a lot of bullshit, you know what you call this, you know what you call this, uh, 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 thrown at us, you know what you call this, and you
yeah,
know what you call it. It's part of our role, you know what you call this, to 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 find it, you know what you call this, and throw it out, you know what you call this. We give it no consideration, you know what you call
Right.
this, and consider the situation the way it is, you know what you call this, the way it actually is, you know what you call
Right.
this. Find out what is actually going on, you know what you call this, and you know it actually even takes me to what you call this, something that Crandell was talking about, you know what you call this. Um,
boy, I got, boy, I can't wait for my turn. I get, yeah,
okay.
man,
Crandell was talking about where he was talking about intuition, you know,
Yeah.
what you call this. So I'm a linguist, you know what you call this. I'm a linguist, you know. I speak uh, four languages that I could
Oh,
say, you
word.
know, I'm fluent at, you know, what you call this, and what you call this, I'll say there are two more which I can hear, I can speak, you know, what you call this, like a basic sentences, you know, what you call this. So, you know, one thing I've recognized, you know, what you call this, is that the modern English, you know, what you call this, that we speak, you know, the one that we got from England, you know, what you call this, and Oxford, you know, there's a lot of confusion there, you know, what you call this. You know how you recognize it, you know. You need to find yourself an etymological dictionary, you know. Go back to find out what the word actually meant, you know what you call this, and then trace how it changed over time, you know what you call this. Many of the words that we use today in English are of Greek and Roman origin, you know, what you call this. They come from Greek, they come from Latin, you know. And very often, you know what you call this, when we use the word, you know what you call this, we are using it, I would say, in a mistaken way, you know, what you call this, as to the original, you know, what you call this, due to some, let me say, some incompetencies, you know, what you call this, illiteracy, and what you call this, not being able to read, not being able to spell, you know what you call this, from the scholars that came from Oxford, you know what you call this, who set the base of modern English. So one thing I recognized, what you call this, when I went back and I found the word intuition, what you call this, it's called intuere, what you call this in Latin, what you call it. It means to what you call this to know by direct observation, what you call this which is actually very different from what you call this how we define or how we use that word intuition today, so what you call this actually, what you call this, so part of, so it's to know by direct observation, right? So
Yeah.
you meet someone, what you call this, they say something to you, but from what you see, what you call this, what you are observing, what you call this, the words and what you are observing don't align, what you call this. You have seen the truth, what you call this, from direct observation,
Right.
and what you call this, and very often now it will come down to what you call this, I would say self-confidence and self-belief, what you call this. And to an extent, what Rex was talking about, what you call this, being unapologetic in your masculinity. So are you going to go with what you observed or what you are hearing? Because, yeah,
Thank
we
you.
do get bullshit,
That's
what you call
facts.
this,
That's facts, brother. That's facts.
directed at us, what you call this.
Yeah.
And part of being male, part of being masculine, what you call this, is confidence, what you call this. How are you going to lead without confidence?
That
You're not going
confidence.
to
You
be
heard
able
me. I
to,
call it
what you
confidence.
call this. How are you going to lead if you do not trust yourself? You know, you're
Ashe.
not going to be able to, what you call it.
Ashe.
How are you going to trust what you are seeing, what you call this, what you are observing, if you do not trust yourself, what you call this, you're not going to be able to, what you call this. And,
Ashe.
you know, coming to what you call this, what we were speaking about, what you call this, of spiritual practices, what you call this, uh, yeah, what you call this, spirituality is very important, what you call this, because those are some of the big lessons that you learn, what you call this, to trust your intuition as defined as what you observe directly,
You know what? You right about that. And check this out. Back to what he was saying, because everything you said about correct observation, and that brings me to my point. I'm gonna tell you this, like how you said like 60 of them 60 of them bad, 30% of them good, and the other 10% is like in the middle. So I'm gonna tell you this: if she ain't operating like she on a redemption arc in her own life, she that 10% go back into that 60% and it becomes 70% again. You gotta remember. The thing
Mm.
about it is if you ain't like this flip flop and shaky, you know how listen, like I said, if she's on a redemption arc where she like, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I'm really trying to be better. How many women do you know that's like that for real? Like
Not too many.
huh?
Not too many.
Yeah, for real, like out of our entire life, literally not too many. But guess what? So it's like I had one girl, my ex. She was like really spiritual or whatever. Yeah, I guess she was like Kimmy and all this stuff, right? So
Right.
I seen exactly what you were talking about. I'm like the potential. I see her. She in the middle. That shit got too nerve wracking. Honestly,
Right.
you got to remember. You got to think about. As long as you're willing to deal with the mental, what I'm saying, anguish that come with that, then if you're able to do, but always remember this: relationships aren't purely transactional when it comes to emotional satisfaction and longevity of it. So just because you put in a lot of work in a relationship does not mean you're going to get that same thing back. We're talking about dealing with the
Damn.
fickle emotional state of human beings,
That's
right?
real shit.
You know, so it's like you got to really think like, damn, dude, am I gonna really deal with this? Like, damn, she, or even for women, if like she or he, damn, they really ain't listening, but I know they got. Okay, listen, you gonna listen. I'm tell you something. When you invite other people in your life, they problems eventually become your problems, right?
Right.
So you got. That's why I say it's a lot when you date a man or a woman. But I know we talking about the masculinity. That's a life decision every time, because
Yeah.
the chances of
Mm-hmm.
you getting, you know, what I'm talking about her pregnant, the chances of you catching something, the chances of, you know, what I'm talking about, you developing PTSD from relationships, psychological trauma. You can get in one relationship when you in high school that affects you until you die in old age.
Yep. That's facts.
So so you got to remember, it's just really like the 10%. If it don't feel like she on a redemption arc, like one of them bad characters that wronged everybody, and now they damn near willing to give their life to prove to the people that they hurt before, like, listen, I'm for real here. Yeah, you might, and guess what? You ain't even really finna find that like that anyway. So that 10%, she got to go right back to the what you call. Just listen, the
Right.
30% is hard to find that, but let me tell you something. The majority of what we get out these relationships now is nothing but child support, court orders, domestic violence,
Yeah.
PTSD, friends, gossiping, family feuds, and fights. What is
Yep.
really coming that's really bringing us joy and happiness besides the temporary pleasure of having somebody around, lay up, hang with, have sex? You see, when
That's
when
it.
you break it down in totality, if you're not dealing with somebody who at least has the majority of your wavelengths, you are going to clash so bad, possibly it can be detrimental to everything in your life. But that's my
That's it.
opinion, though. But that's what we be seeing happening, you know.
Ashe. Ashe. Most
Actually,
definitely. So, you know, as a masculine who has been there, right? How do you decipher the difference between a clash as to where as though this shit is detrimental, where I feel like it ain't no coming back for us, or this shit is detrimental where okay, maybe it's something that I need to learn to move forward. Maybe it's a
Okay.
lesson that I needed to learn to move forward with this relationship. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because
Yeah.
that's a very blurred line when it comes to, you know, us as masculine. Because I know a lot of masculine that has like they'll try and try and keep fighting and like no, but I love her and no, cause she this and
Man.
no, cause she that,
Man.
and they won't give up, right? And whole time, you know, it comes to such a point where it's such a big blowout that the universe ultimately, you know, decides for them. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because, like you just said, the universe do it. Because think about it, the easy way to tell is look at your life in your mind. How just look, is it falling apart or not? That's the
Right.
that's the only way. Is your mind and your life, job losses, health losses, car losses. What else? You got to remember friendships ending. You got to really look at it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard when you're emotionally blinded, but once you start to get out of that, like I'll say 60% out of that emotional attachment, you can damn near break free with your mental will alone.
Right.
So if you really want to know like how to decipher, look at your life. If it's every like I got the car, I got this, the house, but damn, I'm just stressed out. I don't feel good. Like think about it, man. You don't want to keep feeling stressed out. But
Yeah.
then you got to think about it. Are you tripping or are they doing something? Because the thing
Right.
about it is, if they do things that you hate, ain't no point in you even doing it because they love whatever they're doing. That's why they doing it. So when you
Right.
stop them, guess what? They only doing it for you. And when they out of your sight, it's going to be done again because their predisposition mindset was there. It's
Right.
so much to take into accountability. So I just say, listen, at the end of the day, you got to remember, it don't matter how many people you surrounded by. When you die alone, period. That's
Right.
your soul, your life. So make sure the people that's in your life right now are truly valuable and worth it. Because if they ask is not, they got to go. You see
Ah,
what I'm
shit.
saying? So yeah, that's how I feel about that, though.
Ah,
So yeah.
yeah,
shit.
you know, I fully agree. I fully agree. You know what you call this? You know, like uh, 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 there's an African proverb that says, you know what you call this? Show me your friends, I'll show you your character. You know what you call this?
Mm.
You know, so
Mm.
those who you have around you play a significant role. You know what you call this? In your life. You know what you call this? So if if someone is, you know what you call this, it's
Mhm.
just taking away from you, you know what you call this, and never contributing, you know what you call this, anything positive, they've got to go, don't care how you feel, your emotions aside, emotions are a good a servant, but a terrible leader, you cannot be make decisions based on your emotions.
Right.
You have to look at it objectively. Are these is this person adding to my life? Are they bringing some value to my life? Are they bringing stability to to me, and it becomes even worse when you become, when you get into something serious and you start having children, you get married, because now it's not just yourself anymore, you're always responsible for the livelihood of others, and having someone who's constantly taking away, from you, is not just detrimental to you anymore, it's detrimental to all those who you are responsible for,
Trickle
even
effect.
going.
You're right.
Exactly. So at that point, when you're alone, I guess you can afford it to an extent,
Right.
you can afford it more, but you still have to go, and obviously when you are now, a family man, you have children, you have a wife, then they definitely have to go. There it's not even negotiable.
And you know something? If it's not bringing you peace and the reward isn't bigger than the risk, do not do it at all. For real.
Mm.
Because you can clearly see, okay, this gonna take me out probably way harder, way goddamn quicker. And it could take a part of me that I love of myself now that I might never get back or see for years to come. So like, if it's not bringing you peace and the reward is not like worth the risk, don't do it. Like think about it. If let's give an example. Um, let's say you have like a stable, let's say it's a pot of gold, like real gold you can cash in, right? In the middle of like a lake or something, right? You know what I'm talking about? And you know what I'm talking about? The sharks will only come if you bleed, right? You see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't bleed, and the sharks will literally only come if you do bleed, then the risk probably might be worth the reward, right?
Right.
But if you in, you know what I'm talking about, unknown territory where you don't know what's in there, and you don't know anything about sharks, anything about other fish, anything about a jellyfish that can sting you, then you jumping into something that you're fully unaware of, but you only see the end result. But you go into a trap to get it. You know what I'm talking about? So that's why I said if the risk ain't worth the reward, if the risk ain't worth the reward, just don't do it. And not, I'm gonna give it a 7 to 8 times out of 10 is not. Our
I share.
minds cloud and make us think because of emotional attachment. That's all it
I
is.
share. I share. That's facts, man.
See? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
big facts.
That was a wonderful conversation, gents. I know we have more, and I think, that it will have to definitely continue another time, it was
Yeah, because we just unloaded a
wonderful.
whole clip on them.
Man, they probably ain't expect that. Yeah, they probably ain't
Hey,
expect
Rex, they
that.
weren't ready. Hey, Fuka, they weren't ready for that, boy. We just unloaded
They
a
were
clip
ready
on
for
their
us.
ass.
They definitely weren't
They ain't
ready,
expect
dog.
that. They was expecting to hear some simple stuff. That what it was.
Yeah,
Nah, y'all finna get the truth.
show enough. Show enough.
Because and
So
you want
I
to know
think,
something about this type of truth, whether people deny or say they haven't experienced it, they can't deny that a large percent of the collective do go through it.
Right,
mm,
So even if you don't
right.
mhm,
agree with the opinions, you can't take away this happens to people for real and affect their life.
And, and
yeah,
and not only that, right? The fact that it's 222. That
I'm just
already
on the
show me
right
how
thing.
powerful we are as kings, right? To
Yeah.
the point where that this conversation may not have happened due to the fact that what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
know what
you
I
know,
mean? With the
we
cellular connection and everything. So that was point one for me. Like, oh, y'all really trying to knock us out so we don't have this conversation. And then certain things started happening throughout my day where where people trying to put me in arguments and frustrating situations so I don't have this conversation. But after thinking to myself and having a conversation with a good friend and asking God, God said, boy, if you don't have that conversation, you'll never be who you say you are.
For
And
real.
I couldn't do nothing but shed a tear after that shit, King. I promise you, I couldn't do nothing but shed a tear. And I was like, what you mean? You are who you say you are, right?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, Father, you know who I am. So why do you doubt you? You don't doubt me, do you? And I said, no, why would I ever doubt you? Well, speak up.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And
We
at that
need
point, I
more
said,
of
ain't
that.
nothing gonna stop me from having this conversation.
Nah, for real. Cause listen, we didn't show had it, and I know they probably like, well, they like you said, we unloaded the clip.
Man,
Yeah, for real. That's why I said, and I hope we get a chance to do it again sometime soon. Because listen, it's so much stuff to unpack, man.
is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we
You know, and
haven't
we're
even
definitely gonna get
got
into.
man, if we even begin to talk about the emotional intelligence that comes with masculinity, it'll be a whole nother 2 hour conversation.
You
Man,
know, and
I got information for days,
So that's
boy.
up next, fellas. Masculinity
that's
and
up there.
emotional intelligence.
Mm,
Yeah. You we're definitely
You know,
gonna get into
because
that.
I
So
feel like that's the
definitely have
biggest
to get to.
plight that black, not only masculine but black masculine are dealing with right now is the plight of
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
see,
So I
Okay.
would love to
Yeah,
have that
call us.
conversation with you guys, man, and I appreciate y'all for having me on. I appreciate this conversation, and I appreciate the universe for leading me to have this conversation after such a frustrating day. But we're gonna keep on prospering. We're gonna keep moving forward, Kings. We're gonna keep on pushing the message. We're gonna keep on pushing the collective. And we're gonna stay strong with everything within our veins, everything that's pumping in this avatar, in this 3D body. We're gonna use it to push ourselves forward.
yeah, real talk,
Powerful.
and listen, we
Powerful.
don't never stop, and that's why I
Real
said,
eyes,
listen, I
real
appreciate.
eyes. You heard me.
Nah, for real. And I'm glad we had this talk because now everybody, maybe this gave the audience something to really listen to and really think about.
Ashe.
But hey, Fuka, I appreciate you. Crandell, I appreciate you. Listen, if y'all want to come get y'all birth chart read, just hit me up. Kai and Jai know where I'm at
Hey,
all
I'm
the
about
time.
to hit you up as soon as we get up off of here because I need to chop it up with you, King.
Man, listen, I got some information. I could, because listen, I didn't really talk about real astrology because I wanted people to know I'm not just one of those people who just, oh my God, this, that, because everybody not ready for that conversation. So I have to talk in like, what I'm talking about, like
Oh,
regular terms, you know what I'm talking
yeah.
about? But when you come and get this birth chart, you're gonna be like, bro,
Boy, I'm
this
about to
man
come
just
get
broke the
that work
matrix.
from you, boy. I need
Yeah.
that from a masculine.
Yeah, yes,
I
bro.
need that work.
Man, listen, I got 100 and about 65 reviews.
Yeah.
That's why I
I'm
said,
about to
come
come get
holler
that
at
work
my
from
list.
you,
You're gonna be
King. Trust and believe that.
yeah, if in Fuku, hey, you too. Real talk.
Definitely. You know what you call this. I'm definitely gonna be, in touch with you guys, and you know what you call this. Definitely, the conversation will continue. Definitely, you know what you call this. Once you're all back on, you know what you call this. There's too much, for us to even go through. You know what
Yeah.
you call
Can you
this.
lead hey
And
Fuka, can you lead us out with the prayer, man? I need to hear that right now.
definitely, brother.
Can you
Definitely,
take us
brother.
out with the prayer,
Definitely,
man,
brother.
before you go to the outro?
Definitely, brother. You know what you call this. Let me get into that. You know what you call this.
I say,
Let's
King, I
pray.
need that right now.
O cosmic creator of all
Cosmic
radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and
soften the
carve
ground of our
out
being
a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of our mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Don't let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the possibilities of the present moment. For you are the ground, the fruitful vision, the birth, the power, and fulfillment. As all is gathered and made whole once again, let it be so. Amen.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh,
There we go.
Ashe,
There we go.
ashe,
That was a good
ashe.
live though, y'all, for real.
Definitely.
for real,
brother.
man.
Yeah.
That prayer
And
really
I
touched
will,
me, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, every time you speak that prayer, bro, for me, it just brings me so much power, man. That I even got certain parts remembered in my head, Fuka, man. So I appreciate you for that prayer, man. It really stuck with me and it resonated with me, man. So this has been
thank you, bro.
a powerful,
Thank you.
powerful meeting. And I just want to thank both of you kings, man. And
You welcome. Yeah,
until
you
next
already know.
time, man, I can't wait.
You
All
already
right.
know, Gene.
You
I
know, I
appreciate
will.
y'all for having me on. Man, listen, I'm finna go ahead and head off. I'm finna eat now and play the
Hey,
All
Rex.
right.
PS5. I ain't gonna even stunt.
Hey
Yeah.
Rex, drop.
All right.
Hey Rex, drop your page in the chat so that way, in the raw conversations chat, so that way I can add you as a friend and we could go ahead and move on with that. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Listen, go. Hey, come to my page. Hey, it be popping on my page. It do.
I got you.
Yeah,
I
it be
got
fun
you,
though.
brother.
Fuka, yeah, Fuka, you go on, come over there too. Listen, it be fun. Listen,
Yeah, will
we be
do.
tripping on
Will
my
do. Will
page.
do.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all soon.
All
All
right,
right. Let
then,
me let
man.
me let me do this intro outro.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, listen, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man.